did not expect not only to have somebody not only call me tonight, but actually walk in and say hello. And the young lady is sitting across from me right now, so that was her particular request. I'd like everybody to listen up hard because I've got Mariah Carey in studio with me tonight. Mariah, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Listen to that voice. I love that voice. She's right here in studio at KISS FM. A special guest for us tonight, and we're really glad that she took some time from her busy schedule to come in tonight and to spend some time. So listen, you like that Stacey Lattice song, Johnny Gill, huh?
I love that.
When you are at home, who do you basically listen to?
It depends. I listen to a little bit of everything. I listen to lots of gospel music, the Clark Sisters, Shirley Caesar, Al Green, Edwin Hawkins singers, and I listen to Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, whatever I happen to be in the mood for.
You do a lot of listening between time you make songs like Vision of Life on your off time.
Whenever I get time, I listen to some great music.
That has been some hit. You and I have not met. This is our first time actually seeing each other at all. And I just know the first time I heard that song, and I think along with everyone else, we were just floored. It was like, who is this person? Who is she? What's the background? Where did she come from? And I saw in the notes you come from New York. What part of New York are you from?
Well, right now I live in Manhattan, but I moved around a lot as a child with my mother all over New York State because my parents were divorced when I was 3, so she rented and we moved around a lot. So I've lived Long Island, Manhattan, Brooklyn, everywhere. So.
Of course you would be a New Yorker with that kind of talent, right? Well, listen, let's listen to one of your latest cuts, a song I get a lot of calls for. And also we'll open up the music lines, have some folks call in and ask you some questions. And I have some more questions. You're going to hang out for a while?
Sure.
Spend some time? I really appreciate it. So right now, let's listen from her debut album. This is Mariah Carey and her latest, Love Takes Time, right here on KISS FM. Now, together, we're listening to the music of another edition of Soft Touch, and I'm Yvonne Mobley with you in the music, and with me in studio tonight, our special guest, Mariah Carey. Mariah was telling us a bit about growing up in New York. Are you only child?
No, I'm the youngest of 3.
The youngest of 3 in the family. Sisters, brother?
1 sister, 1 brother, 9 and 10 years older.
I was looking at the bio about your mom. Your mom is also a singer, I understand. And when you were younger, she used to take you around with her friends and everything. When did she realize that you had this voice, and also when did you realize that you had this voice?
Well, I've always loved music, and they had to tear me away from the radio when I was a little girl to make me go to sleep and do whatever they wanted me to do. But she tells me that she always knew that I had a good ear, and so, I guess it was from 4 or 5.
Do you play any instruments?
I play a little piano, very little, enough to write.
Okay. And you did a lot of writing on this album, too.
I co-wrote all the songs.
This is wonderful. And you're young. Can I ask you? Do you
20.
Know? You're 20 right now, and you've been in the business for how long?
Well, I've had my record deal for 2 years now, but I was doing a lot of session work before that, and I was actually introduced to my label through another artist, Brenda K. Starr, who I was singing backup for at the time.
Brenda's a nice lady.
She's a great person and a real good friend to me.
Very, very good. Well, you have to tell me that story I saw in the video about the mice in the barn. You were going to do some recording. I'm not going to let that go by because I couldn't have done it. You actually walked in on that, huh? We'll talk about the mice. But right now, this is one of my favorite cuts. One of our listeners at night called me. I think her name is Jennifer from Brooklyn, New York. She called maybe 6 to 8 weeks ago, and she said, Yvonne, do you have Mariah Carey's album? Because there was this track called Vanishing. That's wonderful. And so I had listened, but I couldn't remember exactly which one. So here in studio, I just played it in cue, and there it was, and I played it. I just put it on the air. It was good.
Oh, thank you.
And you like that one?
That's my favorite off the album as well.
When you do your writing, do you have any personal experiences in mind?
I do a lot of the time. I write about, I'll usually do the music first with whoever I happen to be writing with, or, I come up with my own melody idea first and then take it home and listen to it and write about whatever the music makes me feel.
Well, you've done some living in these brief years. We're going to listen to Vanishing right now and continue with Soft Touch tonight on Kiss. Mariah, you're laughing at me because everybody who listens to Soft Touch knows sooner or later my CD players are going to screw up, and so I'm here fighting with the machine. I got one machine tonight, okay? So we're going to try to do this. Chris ran back, so we'll play some music in just a few moments. But once again, we were sitting back. You're doing the best interview off studio. Somebody called up, and they don't believe, first of all, that you are you here with me tonight. So do you want to sing like a little track, just a little something for the unbelievers, disbelievers?
Let's see, what should I sing? Well, that music's distracting me.
Okay, cut the music.
Okay, let's see.
Time.
Who was that for, Will? Treated me kind, sweet destiny, yeah, carried me through desperation to the one that was waiting for me.
Now that was me. Now Mariah's going to sing. Pretty new music from Mariah Carey and I Don't Want to Cry. Mariah's still in studio with us tonight during this edition of Soft Touch. I'm Yvonne Mobley here with the music. Earlier we spoke about your musical background, your musical roots. You have a vast interest in gospel. So you even listen to Kiss Inspirations on Sundays with Diana King. Tell me about your background in terms of your family and what kind of household was it?
Well, I grew up with my mother. My parents were divorced when I was 3. And I have a father who's Venezuelan and black and a mother who's Irish. And I just wanted to clarify that because a lot of different reviewers have been writing some things, you know, a white girl singing soul music and borrowing from soul music, and some of them giving me a little bitterness. Some writer, I don't really remember his name, from Playboy or something, I heard. I don't read the magazine, but they told me about it. And it seemed a little bitter because he thought that I was borrowing from that music, but that's my ethnic background. But the inspiration really came from having an older brother and sister who were listening to gospel music, and Aretha Franklin and Al Green and those singers, and I just gravitated towards that type of music.
Absolutely. People trying to pigeonhole people.
I just wanted to clarify that for that fellow. I don't know his name, but...
Doesn't matter. He's not here now. It's always picky people all the time, right? But tell me about the writing of these different songs. We're about to play There's Got to Be a Better Way, which we both agree is very inspirational. Where did that idea come from?
I think that's just from living in New York and seeing the different kinds of levels of poverty, and then on the next street you see really wealthy people, and you just kind of realize what's going on in the world. And I wasn't trying to be too profound. I mean, I know I'm not Tracy Chapman and I'm not Sting, but I was just kind of reflecting on what's going on.
So you look at the papers and you sit down. You write every night?
Not every night. I write as much as I can. I wish I could write more, but...
When you get... Well, how long did it take you to put this album together?
Actually, when I signed with Columbia, I had about 4 of the songs that ended up on the album, but I guess about a year it took me between writing and recording.
Well, let's listen to this one. I'm glad to be able to play. It's a little up-tempo, but we like it a lot. Think you will, too. There's Got to Be a Better Way as well, and we've got a new singer in our midst tonight, and it's so nice to welcome Mariah Carey to Kiss FM to our studios tonight. I'm Yvonne Mobley, playing the music behind me. Also, you should take a bow because this lady was here for me, like, you know, with the cold and everything, and she's with us on Sundays with Kiss Inspirations, and we were really tipping our hat at Diana King for that Kiss Inspirations, because when you talk about the gospel influence and singers coming up these days, they all have to have some kind of gospel background, as quiet as it's kept. That's where you learn to sing, either in church or whatever. I hear some Minnie Riperton in your...
A big influence on me.
I can hear it. I hear a little Denise Williams.
All those singers that use that high register, that was a major influence on
How
me.
many octaves do you have?
That's kind of a debatable issue. It depends. As you were talking about that higher register, it's kind of hard to calculate that because sometimes it's higher and sometimes it's lower, depending. But it's between 5 and 6, and some people say 7. So I don't know.
And your voice hasn't really fully matured yet either.
Probably I'll have a lower register as I get older. So my mother has a very low voice. She's a singer also, so and a wide range. So
a couple of weekends ago, I was watching Like It Is, and they did a special on Sarah Vaughan. And you hear a younger Sarah Vaughan, and then you hear her as she progressed and got older, and it just mellowed. I can kind of see that happening to you. You know. I think you did good stuff for your first time out.
Thank you.
And this is a song that everybody has called for over the weeks. It has not phased out yet. Still one of my most requested songs. I wish you all the best. Going on tour soon, right?
Eventually.
Eventually, here in this country and in Europe and on. But we all wish you the very best. Before I play this song, one last question, because everybody will kill me. For young people starting out, what kind of advice would you give to some little girl or young man who is listening tonight? He wants to get into this business. What would you tell them?
I would say keep believing in yourself and keep focusing on your dreams and never give up. Just keep going and you'll make it one day.
Would you say it's good to sing in church, to volunteer, to sing whenever you can?
Volunteer to sing as much as you can and just keep trying to improve your gift and, your craft.
How do you get a tape to a record company?
It's really hard. For me, it was a stroke of luck, but just keep pursuing it, and the right person will hear your tape if it's meant to be.
Knock on doors and get all kinds of publications.
And pray and
get those addresses and pray and sing and sing. And she is going to sing for us right now. Mariah, thanks very much. You come back
Thank
again,
you.
okay?
I'd love to.
All right.